Hey everyone, this is Mike and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Valorant. I got access to the game a couple of days ago, been playing it here or there over the course of those days, so I thought I'd take a look at it today, kind of talk about what the game's all about and kind of give you my first impressions on the game. TLDR, I think the game's quite good. If you want to know more about my opinion, then of course feel free to watch the rest of the video. Now, when Valorant was first announced, a lot of people were kind of drawing a lot of similarities with Overwatch because of course Overwatch is a character-based shooter. When they showed off the first bit of footage of Project A, as it was known back then, a lot of people were like, oh well, it's another character-based shooter, this is gonna be kind of similar. Now, however, when the game finally did release into closed beta, people got their hands on it and started playing, they realized very quickly that this is not the case. If anything, it is a very similar game to Counter-Strike. Both when it comes down to how the round-based system works. The only game type that's available right now is like kind of a search and destroy game type where one side is attacking, one side is defending. There are 2 or 3 bomb spots depending on what map you're playing on. And then the attackers need to plant the bomb, defend it, and if the bomb blows up, you win the round. You can also win rounds, of course, by just killing the whole enemy team. If you're on defense and you kill the whole enemy team, but there's a bomb planted, you of course also still need to defuse that bomb, or the spike as it's called in this game. So round-based system, pretty similar to something that we are used to from like Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, something like that. I believe Destiny 2 also has a game mode like that called Countdown, if I'm not mistaken. But basically a very similar gameplay experience that a lot of people are used to. However, when it comes down to the gunplay, the way the economy works and all of that stuff, it is pretty much textbook Counter-Strike. At the start of each round, you have a certain amount of gold that you can spend on guns, equipment, armor, that kind of stuff. And then as you do well in a round, if you win the round and that kind of stuff, you gain more gold. If you die immediately and you lose the round, you don't get much gold. And that means that stuff like eco rounds where you don't spend a lot so that you can save up to buy a better weapon or something like that, going into the next round are things that you can do. And for example, depending on if you want to play it at like a competitive setting with an actual team and that kind of stuff, those things you will see happen quite a lot more so you can save up for the good equipment, for those good guns. So what is available in the shop and why would you want to buy it? So in the shop there are basically 3 different things. We have the guns, there's a bunch of different ones that you can have. You have your sidearms, and then you have your primary weapons, which from the primary weapons you have a very big range of weapons to choose from as well. From submachine guns, shotguns, auto rifles, and then of course snipers and that kind of stuff. You have your armor, which you can either get like a very small amount of armor, or you just get like the full armor package, which of course also varies in cost. And then you also have your abilities that you can buy. Now, the way the character-based system works in this game, and the way how it kind of functions in combat as well, is that your abilities are basically equipment that you have to buy at the start of the round. So each character has 4 different abilities. 2 of them are bought as equipment. 1 of them is a signature ability that is available every round. And once you use it, it goes on a cooldown for a little while, and then you can use it the second time during that round if enough time has passed. And then you have your ultimate that needs to charge up over time, and you can kind of speed this up, I believe, by getting kills, picking up black orbs that are like around the map here or there, and then also like I think finishing rounds and that kind of stuff as well. So there's a few different things that you can do for your ultimate right there too. Now, when it comes down to buying those 2 abilities as well, depending on what ability it is, it might have multiple charges. Like for example, Jet, her smoke bomb has 3 different charges, I believe. But then if I compare it to, for example, the firewall that I have here on Phoenix, he only has 1 charge. So depending on the character that you're playing, you might be investing a lot in your abilities when it comes down to like spending money on them because they have multiple charges. Of course, depending on how often you use them in combat, this will affect your cost as well. Because for example, say I buy my firewall but I don't see the need to use it and I just decide to save it going into the next round, that means I don't need to spend money on buying that ability again because I didn't use it last round. On the other hand, say for example I am playing around with my flashbangs on Phoenix, I use both of them every single round. That means that at the start of every other round I need to go and buy those abilities again. So it's pretty much like equipment in Counter-Strike. The way it works is pretty cool. And I think that this character-based system gives a very unique flavor to the genre, because I know a lot of people maybe think that Counter-Strike is too vanilla or something like that. Everybody has access to all the same guns, everybody kind of has the same equipment as well, but then some people also don't like the hecticness of something like Overwatch, where everybody's just constantly spamming around all of their abilities, and it just turns into more of a brawl rather than a skill-based shooter, which is one of the reasons why I kind of stopped playing Overwatch. And this is kind of a unique merger of both of them. You have the gunplay of Counter-Strike, where you need to be incredibly accurate with your shots and that kind of stuff. Headshots are incredibly lethal. If you get a headshot with like even a sidearm, you can like chunk someone so hard. So being really accurate with your weapons is incredibly important. Usually the skills that you use in the game as well aren't super lethal either. Like, yeah, they'll put like a little bit of a slow on someone or a fire field on the floor, which can be really annoying to deal with. But abilities usually won't kill people, because you can also like see them coming and that kind of stuff. Unless, of course, they are thrown from a weird angle. But it's usually the gunplay that is going to be killing people, which I think it's a really cool mixture of both of those games, because you can still have the very skill-based like gameplay of something like Counter-Strike, but you still have the flavor of something like Overwatch mixed in there as well with those different abilities. And then of course, depending on what character you're playing, your playstyle might vary a little bit. Like for example, if you're playing someone like Jade, I believe her name is, she's a healer, so she probably wants to hang back a little bit more, play with her teammates, so that when someone gets injured during a gunfight, you can heal them up again, or you put down a slowing field or a wall. Very good defensive character. But someone like Jet, for example, who is like has a lot of movement, she can get up to certain places that other characters either can't get to or have a lot of difficulty getting up to, so you can kind of take advantage of that. Get into places where other people might not expect you to be. She also has a dash ability, smoke bombs and that kind of stuff, so she can be very elusive and maneuver around the map very quickly, which makes her a very good aggressive character, and one of the reasons why I love playing her so much. Phoenix, the one that you are seeing in the background in the gameplay, is a cool mixture of both. He has flashbangs, meaning that he can kind of get the upper hand in a gunfight. His ultimate also allows him to respawn, so you can just like pop your ultimate, run into a gunfight, guns blazing, and if you end up dying, you're gonna respawn anyways. So there's a lot of cool different nuances here or there depending on what character that you are playing. Do quite enjoy playing this game. Of course, I do think that I would enjoy this game a whole lot more if I were to play it with some friends. Because of course, like, this is not necessarily the gameplay style that I like in my shooters whenever I'm playing solo. Usually when I play solo, I like to just ape around like a monkey, guns blazing and that kind of stuff, and this game isn't really made for that. On the other hand, for example, something like Trials of Osiris is a game type that I love playing in Destiny 2. Much more tactical, much more safe play, so to speak, because again, in Trials of Osiris you also only have one life per round, unless your teammates revive you, but you have to play a little bit more careful and that kind of stuff, and it feels more like a game like this, because of course you can still play very aggressive if you want to do so, but of course it is risk-reward. Again, if you're someone whose aim is incredibly good, then of course you can go and play as aggressive as you want to, because you're just gonna be out shooting people left and right, which I think is incredibly cool, because I do like skill ceilings in games, or should I say high skill ceilings in games, because it just makes so that the player can make so much more of an impact. A very good example of this is Starcraft 2. It's a game that I used to play a lot. I still can like keep up with the pro scene and the kind of stuff, but when I first started playing, it was just an insane difference from me being a Bronze League player, playing against someone that is, for example, Gold League, still very close to me, but there's no way that I can win. And then eventually when I grow as a player, I get better. Then, for example, in Valorant, my aim gets better, or I know all of these different spots where I can like curve like maybe grenades around corners, or my flashbangs, or I know the specific paths that people usually like to take, and I know where to land those slowing fields or something like that, so that they can't retreat when I go in, and my aim is on point where I can get those headshots and pretty much one-shot people and that kind of stuff. That's where I think that the enjoyment of this game is really going to come into. When it comes down to it being a tactical competitive shooter, I think Riot hit the nail right on the head. It's incredibly fun to play, the gunplay feels really good, there is a lot of skill to be gained in this game, which I think is going to be making for some incredibly cool and exciting pro matches to see as well. Again, it is much more focused on the gunplay than it is on character abilities, so it's not just going to be characters like flying around all of their abilities and then hoping to get kills that way. No, it's really going to be all about the gunplay with a little bit of support from those abilities that you have on all of the different characters. So all in all, Valorant, I think this is going to be a big success if people open up to it. Probably a lot of people that used to play Counter-Strike or maybe that play Counter-Strike now, that want something that feels similar but is still a different experience, they might come try this out as well, and maybe vice versa, people that play Valorant might be like, oh, that Counter-Strike game, very much so an inspiration for this one, maybe I should go try that one out as well. So those are pretty much kind of like my first impressions on the game. Do quite enjoy it. I am going to be playing it here or there again for the next few days. Of course, your matches do take quite long. It's like about half an hour per game that you play pretty much. So I'm just usually playing like 1 or 2 games here or there when I have some time, just to kill some time, because I do think that this is quite a fun experience when it comes down to the gameplay and all of that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much gonna be it for me. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank my Patreons for supporting me, and I'll see you in the next one.